Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 2 of Game of Thrones Thoughts. This week, Brandon and I are joined by our old buddy Cam. He is
Hey,
he's a Marine of the same, cloth as we are. That's how we all know each other. Cam, what's up, man?
what's going on, fellas? This is exciting. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, no worries. Like the title of the video says, we're here to discuss Game of Thrones. So let's start it off. Cam, do you have any crazy theories that you want to share?
This is very interesting. For you listeners out there, I've known these guys for quite some time, and I love the podcast. And I do watch Game of Thrones, and I'm very interesting to kind of talk with you guys because I might have a different point of view than most of your guests that you have on here. Like I heard last week's, and those guys, they know Game of Thrones. Like they read the books, like they was on it. I think I have a different perspective for those who are just like how can I explain it? Like casual listeners or watchers. I watch the show, I watch it with my wife. Like my wife, she's like, she has like all the crazy theories and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I think there's a lot of different things that can happen as the season begins, and I don't think it's going to end like anybody thinks it's going to. I think it's going to throw us all for a loop. I think I can say that probably something to do with Jon Snow. I think that's everybody's favorite. He's probably the most favorite character besides how do you say her name? Daenerys. Yeah. So them two being together, I think it's going to be something magical with them two. But I think towards the end, it's going to have something to do with Bran doing something. I think watching like this little clip, the little clip I was watching before, him really like having no emotion left in his body now since he's gone through his transformation, all of those that he learned, he has no more emotion in his body. I think he's going to create a sacrifice that for the greater good, since he has no like really thought process as far as emotion. Like someone like myself would want to stay here for my family and friends like that. He just knows like this is the right thing to do, this is not the right thing to do. I do like you, I don't like you, kind of like when his friend, I'm terrible with names, but when his friend left and she wanted to go back, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't need you anymore." Like,
I know what you're talking about.
It's just like that's just how it's going to be. And so I think he has that mindset where it's just like, this is right, this is wrong, this is what I want to do, this is what I need to do. And I think he's going to end up making some type of sacrifice since he's able to, look into the past and see visions of the future. I think it's going to be something with him at the end that's going to like blow people's mind.
Yeah. That's basically what everyone else thinks too. What do you think of the theory that Bran is the Night King?
I heard that one, and it was very.
That's my personal subscription one. That's the one that I'm like, yeah, I believe that one to be the truth.
That would be very interesting, especially since he can look into the way back in the past and seeing the first Walker and seeing the future. And it's like kind of interesting because it's like, what if that was himself, like when he had that vision and the Night King grabbed him, and like what if that was him trying to like grab himself to like show him something? Like I can see that happening. That would be crazy. And then like he offs himself. Oh man.
Crazy. That would be crazy. He finally like realizes, wait a second, I'm the Night King, this is all my fault, and just offs himself somehow.
Sacrifices himself for the benefit of humanity.
Exactly. Like it would make sense, especially like they're saying that when all the walkers that follow or are under another walker dies when that one dies. So since everybody's obviously under the Night King, if he dies and all of them die, that would be crazy. But I think it won't be to the very end till we get to that point.
Oh yeah,
and I think there's gonna be so much devastation between all of between the beginning and the end that no, everyone's gonna be left off like, man, that's it. Like no, it's not gonna be like hooray, like everybody's gonna have that good feeling. It's gonna be like, man, we just want one more season, like just give us one more.
Yeah, I think they know that they have to kill it off here so that there isn't another rally for another season. So you're not going to get the sunshines and rainbows. You're not going to get that happy-go-lucky ending. It's going to be the Night King destroying everything and no one is living.
Yeah,
exactly.
for sure.
I think the first episode, because I think they left it off with them breaking down the wall and finally getting past the wall. So I think that first episode is just going to be a lot of death. There's going to be a lot of people just dying, and obviously when they die, they become Nightwalkers as well. And so I think it's going to be hectic that first episode. I think they're going to bring the pain.
Yeah, for sure. We're all under the assumption that someone, not major, but a character that we all know is definitely going to die in the first episode.
100%, 100%. And I think, with them, people describing like, what's her name? She's now sitting on the throne.
What is her name?
Cersei.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, Cersei. I think with her, trying to scheme against everybody, basically let everybody fight, and then once everybody is tired out from fighting walkers, she's going to come in. I think her grand scheme of thing, how she thinks is going to go, is not going to happen. Somehow, some way, they went to go get what do they call them, the Golden Company, to bring, so they went to go get them, and they're going to come thinking that they're just coming to fight other people, and realize it's not a normal fight. It's not going to be a normal battle at all.
And Night King now has a dragon too, so
that's nuts.
Have fun dealing with that.
I've been trying to calculate kind of what Cersei's army would be, and she's got all the people there in King's Landing. She'll have the Golden Company, and she's got the Greyjoy's fleet.
Yes.
The Greyjoy has an interesting little side story with Theon chasing down Yara and all that stuff, but they're all gonna die. All the Greyjoys, they've got to die. They kind of suck.
Yeah, they're like little bottom feeders. Like they're not, like they think they have these big goals, but they don't have the capacity to even touch, their goals of trying to run the Seven Kingdoms. No, there's no way. Not even in fact. So I think it's gonna be very interesting to see how that plays out. With them going to get those different types of armies and bringing them in to try to think that she's going to kill everybody off so she can have it herself. It's not going to happen.
I wonder if the Golden Company will switch sides once they realize what they're up against.
That's a good point. I know I would.
Likely, yeah.
I know I would. I'd be like, forget this, man. We fighting together. Like,
no thanks.
We all got to survive. Yeah, absolutely, man. It wouldn't make any sense. I think a lot of people aren't going to be prepared for what's going to happen. And like I said, it's all going to be everybody coming together, but it's going to be a big massacre.
Yeah, there definitely won't be very many people left at the end of the show. Like, I mean, it's hard to say. They obviously can't kill off everybody, but it's going to be.
Why not?
Well, they definitely could. They definitely could. I don't think they will, though. They're going to leave something to dwell on once the season ends. Like, oh, I wonder what they're doing right about now,
Yeah, I wonder how much, because like I said, I haven't read the book or anything like that, but I'm very curious to see how close the ending of the book is compared to the ending of the actual show. So because I don't know how how much of the book is there.
Right. Yeah. The ending hasn't been written yet. No. Yeah. The show surpassed the books. I don't know how many seasons ago, but yeah.
I think season 5-ish was about the last of the books. The show has been going on since, and George R. Martin is said to have influenced the end of it.
Yeah.
Who knows? Whatever.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So they got through to like the 5th season. And they were like, "Oh shit!" Like,
yeah, they just couldn't stop. They couldn't stop that money train from.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. That's the big thing, is the money train took off.
And waiting for somebody to write a book, which probably takes him at least a couple years every book. They're not going to wait around for that. So yeah,
absolutely not. Easily will take that long. It's going to be very interesting. I think there's going to be some key players in there. I don't know. I was trying to think on how Arya is going to fit into there, into the mix, or even if she's going to be in the mix. I would assume so. But I'm curious to see how that plays out. I'm curious to see if Jon and Daenerys is going to find out that they're related, potentially.
And are they going to keep hooking up?
Yeah,
exactly.
Will they care?
Exactly, because it's almost like socially accepted in that time.
Yeah, I mean, just about.
Yeah, like people like always try to keep stuff in the bloodline, kind of like how Cersei was. So yeah, I'm curious to see if that, or if Sam keeps it a secret. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't tell. Who knows?
Does Sam know?
But
Yeah, Sam
think-
and Bran were the ones that kind of figured it out.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Because I knew
Yeah.
I knew Tyrion had like basically watched them, but I didn't know anyone else knew.
Yeah. Well, I think I don't think maybe he knows. I don't think he knows that Jon and Daenerys are hooking up, but I think he knows that Jon is of Targaryen blood.
Okay, I
he's
gotcha.
a royal. Yeah, so maybe that's what. Yeah, that's gonna be a good point. So when he actually does somehow, some way meet back up with them, how is it going to be for him to see them like maybe kissing, or maybe she's pregnant and with this child? Who knows?
Right.
Yeah, so as like you gotta think, like if that's your boy, like thinking in 2019, like
Hey man,
what do you say to it? What do you say? Like it's
how do
his
you break
wedding
that?
day. Yeah, they're getting married. It's the wedding day, and you just getting there on the wedding day. Like, what do you say? do you tell him?
I think you just let it slide at that point.
You have to. You have to.
It's like, yo,
Like
we've gone too far.
Yeah.
It's already too late. It's already, the damage has been done. Yeah, I don't think I could tell him. I couldn't be in my right mind, and I mean I would feel bad for him.
Right.
Who knows? I'm also curious to see how they're going to handle the dragon that they lost to the Night King. I'm curious to see if they're going to be able to take it out. Like how they're going to.
I think they're going to lose more dragons.
Oh
that's a good point.
That's
probably at least one.
Because are all three still alive, or did she lose one?
She lost one. Alive. She lost one to the Night King. Right. It's not. It's not alive anymore.
Yeah, but it's not alive. Yep, that's correct. So there's two more. So like they're going to be about. Yeah,
it's
so
still in use, but not by her.
The balance of power is going to shift at some point. It'll be two dragons on one side to one on the other.
Yep,
and they're going to get him.
They might. Yeah, they might. Who knows?
It's going to be hard to take on two dragons at once. Yeah, that's going to be very curious. I'm curious to see.
Unless somebody uses some kind of dragon glass weapon and takes out one of the White Walker dragons. Would that work on them? It would, right? I would assume.
I don't know. How do you kill a regular dragon, bro?
I'd be a White Walker.
I don't even know how to begin to kill a regular dragon. I wouldn't even.
Yeah.
A night dragon? I don't fucking know.
All I know is dragon glass. Sam was trying to get some dragon glass for the White Walkers, so start there, I guess.
Yeah,
that's gonna be hard.
Yeah, and they were mining for it too, weren't they? For some more of it. Yeah. So they create some big old giant weapon.
Sam,
too late.
Sam's saving the day because he reads books. He learned how to be he's gonna be a fucking wizard, and he learned it in a book.
That's true. A lot of people, he was like, he was the nerd of the group. He wasn't the star football player, and here he is coming in to save the day. It's kind of like in now times a lot of people that are big in high school don't really plan out to be who they think they're going to be as they get older, and the guy that was considered a loser ends up saving the day, ends up being the the successful person at the end of once they get into adulthood. So that's a very good point. Sam has a very bright future in front of him.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely didn't think he'd be as big of a character as he is now. I thought he would just
survive. Yeah,
I thought he was just some old guy,
Exactly.
Did you guys see that Kit Harington hosted Saturday Night Live recently?
I was just watching that video. I didn't watch all of it, but I was like, damn, his voice sounds worse like regular than like Jon Snow's like real cool, like the ladies man, and then
it's all in the beard, man. It's all in the beard.
That's it. Because you shave the beard, he's like shaving,
he's
and his voice is a lot lighter. Yeah, so his voice is a lot lighter. It's not as deep and slow.
Right.
Yeah. So all you got to do is get the ladies is grow a beard and talk a little bit in a lower tone, and you'll be good.
They call that a sex voice back home.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna get back onto a different topic and switch it up.
Yes.
One of my favorite characters that I don't really know where he's gonna go or what he's gonna do is Bronn. He's now separated from Jaime, who we assume is going north, and I don't know if he's gonna want to side with Cersei now that Jaime's not there. So does he end up riding north? Is that his excuse to ride north, and then he joins the fight for the living, or do you think that he ends up fighting for the money with the Lannisters?
I think with Bronn, he's more loyal than the money. So I think he's going to go with loyalty.
He's a sellsword. He's always been a sellsword.
Right.
I think that's his gimmick.
I think once he realizes what the stakes are, he's like, all right, I'm not gonna be able to use money if we're all dead here. So.
Yeah, because I think that's how he started out in his career. But I think his time with what's his name,
Jaime,
not Jaime, before Jaime,
Tyrion.
Yes, Tyrion. I think his time with him, I think it made him realize what loyalty is, outside of money. I think that dynamic between those two actually changed his thought process on that. So most likely I see him, fighting with everybody else, vice versa with Cersei, who, he'll see as, she has money, but she's willing to turn her back on everybody else. Eventually she's going to turn her back on me too. I think he'll see something like that and fight with everybody else.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he helps out Jaime or Tyrion or a mix of all three of those guys, and they all team up to try to take Cersei out.
Yes, she's definitely gonna go down. She's not gonna make it.
She's
just trying so hard, and she's been through a lot. She's been through a whole lot, but she's done a lot of dirt, and she doesn't really have the morals there. And people don't respect that, so I don't see her lasting.
Right, and she doesn't have like a loyal army or anything to her. Basically, everyone that's following her is just afraid of her. So
yeah, or like the Mountain is just like a zombie now, and
right.
He just knows serve her. So that's probably like his.
Are we finally going to get to see the Hound in the Mountain? That would be an awesome
for sure. Yes.
Now that's a good point, because I don't know what happened to him, but obviously something happened to him to where he's just like a zombie robot.
What? Did they explain that?
I don't think so.
Well, it's that chemist guy or the maester that is there in under Cersei's little power or whatever.
Yeah,
she told him to kind of bring him back, and he did some Frankenstein magic type shit.
Oh damn!
And made him into like the zombie mountain. He's not a walker, but it's some kind of like magically altered. Yeah, I don't know. That guy did it though.
Yeah, no, 100%. So that means like he's like totally loyal to her, and so I see that when the Hound comes back and he's gonna have to fight his brother. That's a good call.
I think that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that's for sure gonna happen. 100%. Now, who's gonna win? They might both go down. They might
take each other out. I can see that.
I can see that too.
A way to just write both of them off in an epic battle to the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. 100%. 100%. What about the sister, not Arya,
Sansa?
Sansa, yeah. I don't know what leads for her neither. I kind of remember where she left off. Or I know at one point she was running. Was she running their house, or was she running the in the north at the wall?
Yeah, right now she's like the lady of Winterfell.
Right.
She's running the whole area. That's her shit.
Right.
When John comes back, he kind of reclaims that or whatever. But for now, she's the HBIC, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I don't think she's gonna make it.
I don't think so neither.
See, some people think that she'll end up on the throne.
Fuck no way.
Because she's tough. She's been through a lot. Look at what she's had to deal with.
True.
She learned all the ways of the game from Cersei.
Yeah, that is true.
But she's a better person than Cersei.
Yep, this is true.
I mean, she's been groomed for the throne the entire story.
Right.
She's got to see the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, take the back seat several times.
Right.
And how many times have people counted her out? And she's been like, nope.
She's a fighter. She is for sure. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because I don't. As far as a woman being on the throne, I don't see any other woman being on the throne besides her, or besides Daenerys. But I don't know. Something tells me like they're not even going to want to be a part of it. Like if Daenerys was to make it out, like her, like I see like her whole vision is just making sure like she has a peaceful world and there's no slaves. I think she'll continue that battle almost like Alexander the Great, just going and trying to find other lands to relieve slaves. So that could be a good point because I don't see her wanting to just sit on the throne there. Maybe I don't, or maybe she will because that's where her family started. That's where her bloodline started was there. So maybe she does. But I think at the end of the day, I think her whole vision is making sure there's no slaves. So making sure like the what do they call that? The where Cersei is.
King's Landing.
King's Landing. Yeah. So making sure King's Landing is, a good place for people to be. There's no slaves there, and making sure that's good. And once that's there, she'll probably leave someone like Sansa in charge, and then continue on her merrily way, going back across the water to make sure all her other places are good. Because she's got this whole couple continents that she's running. So I can see that happen.
Let me paint this picture of Daenerys for you guys. The White Walkers are closing in on Winterfell. She sees that her army is starting to get depleted. Sensing that she's not going to be able to claim the throne with a depleted army, she pulls back all the Unsullied. She pulls back all of her forces, focuses on an attack on King's Landing, goes full Mad Queen, and burns the entire city with her 2 dragons.
I can see it.
Just say, fuck you, Cersei Lannister. This is my throne. And then she ends up Jaime Kingslaying her like they did to the father.
I can see that. I could see her going Mad Queen and fucking some shit up like that.
I don't think so. I don't think so. No, I don't see her like that. She's always been so good and for the people. Because there's innocent. Now if the King's Landing was just full of
she's always been so good and for the people, but her main goal has always been to get the throne.
Yeah.
To get to the throne.
Yeah, I think she was just good to those people to get them on her side.
That's a good point.
It was to her benefit. You know what I mean? She didn't do it just because it was a nice thing to do. She wanted you to join her. So
that makes a good point. I think so. It's a possibility.
Bitch.
Yeah, I know, right? Just using all her power for her own greater good. Sounds like a United States politician. Right? But I can see her doing that but without burning everybody. I can see her going and creating some type of attack with the Unsullied on King's Landing, but not the innocents, but just the army of King's Landing and taking the throne. I can see that happening, but killing everybody just to kill them, I don't see her doing that. She wouldn't be asleep.
Well, want me to tell you how she could kill Jon Snow?
Jeez.
Yes, that I can see that.
Really?
She finds out that they're related and he has a more legitimate claim to that throne.
Oh, yep. You think so?
I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. I can definitely see that.
I figured
she's never been.
Her goal is to sit on the throne, man. She views that as her birthright.
Yep.
True.
Yeah, I can definitely see that because she's learned so far that not sitting backseat to a man that that she is her ship and she wants to run everything, and when she runs things, stuff gets done. So I can definitely see her taking out Jon Snow. That would be like a what?
Yeah,
people would be hoping that people would be hoping Jon Snow gets brought back to life again because that would be sad. People would be very, very disappointed. But I could definitely see her doing that because he does have a better shot at the throne than she does.
I could see her not necessarily killing him, but just letting him die, if that makes sense.
Oh,
like she's just
better.
They're like fighting, and he's getting taken over or whatever, and she's just like, oh, that sucks, and just goes on.
He's like reaching out for her. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
he's like reaching out for her, and she like turns a blind eye,
mm-hmm.
but he lives.
That would be crazy. Yeah, and she just thinks this whole time that he's gone or whatever.
Yeah, and he just shows up. Yeah, that would be crazy. I can see that happening 100%.
And what about the Red Priestess? Is she going to bring her forces in? The believers, the mad, crazy fire believers?
Oh, she's got to go.
No,
Yeah, I think she has to go too.
Yeah, she has to go. She's created too much drama.
But she brought Jon Snow back.
She did.
Without
She
her,
did. And that's why
he's dead.
That's true. She served her purpose. Now she's got to go.
Right.
I think that's the only reason why he let her live was that reason. Because what's the name wanted to kill her, and he let her go. I think
Davos.
Yeah.
That's my dude.
He's a G.
Like I listen to the audiobooks on my way to work. I've got about an hour drive one way, so I get to kill pretty much a whole disc. So it's pretty cool. It's like like reading, but not.
Right.
Exactly.
It's like a podcast of just the book.
Yeah, basically. Where they don't get off topic and say dumb shit.
Right.
But it's awesome. And in the book, they go into a lot of detail about Davos Seaworth, the Onion Knight, and he has a lot of side stories that they don't really cover in the show. And that dude's awesome. He does some cool shit around in the world.
Nice.
He's always somewhere different. He's always like traveling.
Yeah, because he was a smuggler, right?
Yeah, but I mean, even now that he's a character, like he was with Stannis Baratheon for a while, and then then he's over here, and then he's over there, and then he meets up with this guy. He just always moves, and I think that's really cool about him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And he you can tell he keeps his he has morals, like he's like one of the old school guys that believes in the rules of the land, that won't break them, like won't kill their own daughter off just to win a battle. Like it's just crazy to me.
Well, yeah, that was pretty wild what Stannis did, but he was fucking hungry with power and shit.
Yeah.
Power will eat you up, man. That ego and power will eat you up.
I wish they would have shown Brienne slashing him up though.
Oh, I know. That's why people
feel like we got robbed on that.
Yeah, that's why people were saying like, it's possible that he's still alive because it was off camera, and everybody else they should get killed, or at least get an arrow in them, or at least get sliced, and you can see blood. But in that one scene, it doesn't show it. So people are saying like, what if he is still alive? That would be crazy.
I don't see her letting him live though. Like that's the thing. It's like she was so pissed at him. She's a badass, dude.
Yeah, she is, because she's another one that she like the rules are the rules, and you did wrong, and in some way, somehow, if I meet you 5 years from now, a day from now, I'm gonna kill you. Because
you think her and Jamie are gonna hook up?
Yeah, for sure. There's so much sexual tension there. I'm surprised they haven't already.
I know, right?
It's a definite going to happen, especially now that he had this whole out with Cersei. It's 100%. Yeah, he's free game right now.
Yeah, see, one of our other panelists is cheering for the Tormund and Brienne hookup. He thinks that they need to bring the good babies.
We all think he's gonna die pretty soon, though.
Yeah, I think he's gonna die in the first episode. So.
Oh, for sure. There's gonna be a massacre in that first episode. It's gonna be bloody. That first episode is gonna be crazy because they gotta set the tone for the whole season. So yeah, it's gonna be that first episode is gonna be bloody. A lot of people are gonna die. A lot of people that we didn't think were gonna die are gonna die. They're just gonna let us know, like, hey, we're not playing this season.
And dude, we're 6 days away.
I know, that's crazy, right? My wife is counting down the time. Like she's like a Facebook countdown. She's like 6 days.
Nice. That's awesome.
Time.
So many people are like that. This show has taken a hold of so many people from across the world that people have like that legit countdowns.
Yeah,
and people are gonna have Game of Thrones watch parties.
Oh yeah,
like that. It's insane.
Do you think this is the most successful show to date?
Oh, that's a good question.
Ooh, there have been some good ones, but I mean,
there has been some
just overall numbers.
I would say so. Yeah, I would say it has to be at least top 5.
Oh, easily.
Especially now because how easy it is to watch shows. You've got streaming. Basically, everyone can watch it some way or another, whether it's on their TV or on their phone or whatever. This is the perfect time to be this popular of a show. I mean, just I'm sure numbers and money just rakes in.
Oh, 100%. That's why they kept going after season 5. They was like, "Oh, we can't stop this."
Oh yeah,
we'll just make it up as we go.
And we've got at least one or two like prequel stories that are going to come out too.
Yep. And you probably have some movies. You'll probably have some more books come out.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as George R. R. Martin makes his books, they'll make something about his books, and do it his way or whatever.
I think it was last week when we had Adam on, we were talking about the prequels, or maybe it was the time before.
Yeah, no, it was him. I think
I can't remember. Episodes run together for me, but
I bet.
When we were talking about the prequels and we mentioned Robert's Rebellion, I bet that will be included at the very end of the backstory of the Targaryens.
Yeah,
that would lead right into the events of Game of Thrones, but that is a huge moment in the end of the Targaryens.
Right. So, yeah, that'd be awesome to see.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, there's going to be a lot. It would be awesome, even better if everybody thought this was the last season, and then just kidding, we got one more for you. That would be awesome. I know it's not going to happen. It's a very slim chance, but
I think out of all the predictions and theories that I've heard, that's the worst, the least likely to happen.
It's like not the end, guys.
0.1%. Right. Oh my goodness.
But if you're right, man, you're
probably that'd be awesome. At least a spinoff.
If you're right, I'll go and make like a video clip of this and share it and be like, look, he called it right here.
I called it. Give me my money. That would be so badass. At least give me a spinoff like of Jon Snow and Daenerys running off and conquering the world together. That would be badass too. Something.
Now,
give us something to continue.
I did pitch last week that if their baby ends up sitting on the Iron Throne, then this is basically How I Met Your Mother. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. That is true. That's a good point. That is exactly it.
Like a Song of Fire and Ice, a.k.a. How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother, HBO style.
Uncut. Right? That's true. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, they could, technically, like, that's a very successful sitcom. They just take it and then just make it a little bit more gory.
Legendary.
Legendary. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
How can we add dragons to How I Met Your Mother?
Oh, I know. Game of Thrones. Yeah.
If Neil Patrick Harris is in this season,
confirmed.
There's a conspiracy.
He makes like a cameo in it.
Yeah,
because somebody else, because Ed Sheeran, didn't he? Ed Sheeran made his
he sucked for like the 5 seconds he was on camera, but he was in there.
Yeah, so it's possible.
Guys from Mastodon.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure they'll have a bunch of others, at least several, for this last season.
100%, 100%.
Well, Cam, I hope we can have you back on maybe next week or whatever after the first episode has aired.
Hell yeah.
We'll get everybody's thoughts about that and be awesome. Till then, Cam, tell everybody where they can find you, find your podcast, your show, and all that stuff at.
Yeah, you can find me on all social media at I am Cam Harris. I've got a podcast with my wife for the couples out there listening. It's a podcast / YouTube show called He Say She Say, where me and my wife put our arguments on camera and we let the audience decide who is right. Because, fellas, like when we're talking with our significant others, they always assume that they're right. So this is just a way that the people agree with me, like I'm right. So it's a really cool show. And then we also do a marketing podcast for those who are interested in learning about marketing. That's the Marketing Lab podcast. You can find that on all podcasts as well. So He Say, She Say, and Marketing Labs. I appreciate you guys for having me on. It's good to talk with you guys again. Definitely want to come back again and talk after the first episode for sure. This was fun.
Definitely.
Awesome, man. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of it.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all have a good one, fellas.
All right. See ya.